But a name, Jazz Tech, all best in the game. Mamba mentality in his own lane, so better pay attention to what he be saying. Get the message, ain't no question. Welcome to the broadcast, the Jazz Tech podcast.
Hey, welcome to the Jazz Tackar podcast, episode 252, the number one podcast for real estate professionals to do more deals and create a business around their life, not the other way around. Today's topic is going to be what sports has done for me in my life and the lessons you can take as a real estate professional to do more deals and create that business around your life and not the other way around. But before I get into the meat of the conversation, as I always like to do at the start, I want to let you know that our list for the 10-minute free coaching call with me live on the podcast, which we do at the end of every single podcast, is growing. And for you to get on that list, it's free. All you got to do is go to FTGUacademy.com/call, FTGUacademy.com/call. You will be featured on the Jazz Tackar podcast. And so you can get some awareness, but more importantly, you can ask me, bless you to my boy Bobo, who's behind the ones and twos today. How you doing, Bo? Good? You're awesome, brother. All you got to do is go to FTGUacademy.com/call. And this is where you can ask me any question in and around what's going around in your business, what's happening, maybe some obstacles you're facing, how to do more content, how to sell more, how to create that business around your life. Whatever it is that you're going through, you get to pick my brain for 10 minutes at no cost. But let's get into the meat of today's conversation. And I have a funny feeling. As I was coming into the studio today, I was thinking like, man, I'm like, why did I get triggered to do this episode? Like, why talk about all the things that sports has taught me? I know you can, for my guys and gals that are actually looking at me and not taking their dog for a walk right now, or maybe not on the, or maybe on the treadmill or driving. I used to play a lot of sports. You can't probably tell right now, but I used to play a lot of sports. Mainly it was soccer, football, and basketball. But what it was always doing for me, especially around that age of 11 to 12, when I really got obsessed with watching not only the game, but watching the post press conference, watching the pregame, and trying to get into the heads of these top performers, these athletes who are in the top like 0.00001% of their sport. Like if you think of a sport like football, you got 52 players, okay? You have a team of like maybe 30 teams in the NFL. That's not a lot of space for people to actually make this not only their living, but like make hundreds of millions of dollars. And so obviously these guys are at the top of their game. And then you look at basketball. A basketball team only consists of 12 players, right? And then again, you have 30 teams in the NBA. So to actually get to that level, you need to make sure you take these three lessons that, for me anyways, are the most important when it comes from sports. But as I was mentioning, what spurred on this episode? And I have a funny feeling it had a little to do with the Euro Cup that's going on right now in Germany. And my team has always been England. I mean, my grandparents and aunts and uncles and cousins, we have family back in England. And so I just kind of fell in love with that team at around the age of 12, and probably a lot to do with my cousin. Shout out to Parm, aka Southall, who it kind of introduced me to that team. And I've always wanted them to win. And if you know soccer, I actually think it should be called football. I think NFL got it wrong. NFL should be called soccer, and soccer should be really called football right around the world, because you don't really kick a football in NFL that much, right? And so anyways, I digress. But if you have a differing opinion, put it in the comments. We haven't won, England, since 1966, any major tournament. Like, they won the World Cup in 1966 and had never won a major tournament, including the Euros. But yesterday's game against Denmark after coming off a win against Serbia, which wasn't that impressive, and no knock on the team of Serbia, but they don't have a lot of professional players in the major leagues of soccer across the world. So they should have, England, probably beat Serbia before the game started. 3-0 at least. Anyways, they ended up winning 1-0, but in the second half, Serbia did what they do best, which was press and press and press, and made it very tough for England. And they didn't really show up, England. So I thought that this second game against Denmark, they would come out flying and, more importantly, sustain that energy. But they didn't. They went up 1-0 in the 18th minute of the game. And if you don't know soccer, it's 90 minutes plus some injury time. So 18 minutes is quite early to be up. But then after that, they just look so lackluster, the performance that they gave, which made me think that, you know what, there's a lot of lessons that I think you as a real estate professional can take. And to not have this episode go on for 6 days, which I know I can, because when it comes to sports and using that in your business, using that in your life, using that to do more deals, using that to be in the top 1%, because you guys have heard me say this before, and if you're new to my community, what I say a lot is, look, if we're going to go out and make some money, because we have to pay the bills. It might not be the only reason you're doing this, but at the end of the day, your thoughts and feelings around money, you can have whatever you want. We need it. We need to buy stuff to live. If you're going to go out and make money, why not just make fucking bags of it? Like, why not try to be the best? Like the top 1%. And if you're in the 1% as you're watching and listening to this, let's get into the top 0.001%. Why not? Other people are. Why not you? So next time someone says, well, why do you have to do that? I want you to reply back to them and why not? And wait, just say nothing. I want to hear, you should want to hear their answer, because I can tell you 99% of the time they have nothing for you, because they're probably saying why to you because they're worried that they're not living out their dreams. They're not living out their passions. And so if we're going to go make some money, because we have to, I'm of the ilk of let's go make bags of it. And so to do that, though, we gotta be better. We gotta get better. So the 3 top lessons, hence why I said I don't want this episode to be for 6 days. I'm gonna bring it down to the 3 major lessons that I've always taken from sports. There's a lot more, and please comment wherever you're watching or listening to this, because I want to get your feedback on future episodes as well, and just your thoughts on what we're talking about, because maybe you're an avid sports fan as well, and maybe you take some of the lessons, maybe you don't. I want to hear from you. Number 1 is preparation. Number 2 is making sure that you surround yourself with people that are doing what you want to do at a higher level. And then number 3 is understanding that there's ups and downs in sports, but also in your business. And you have to lose. To become a winner, you need to lose first. So those are the 3 top lessons. And as I was kind of mulling this all over coming into the studio, I was like, where do I really want to take this? Because I can take this 6 ways to Sunday, because I've been watching sports so much and using it in my business, and my team will tell you, DM them on the side. Anybody that you've ever seen on my social medias, I'm always making sports references from sport teams that I've been watching, and my 3 favorite teams are the Los Angeles Lakers in basketball, the Pittsburgh Penguins in hockey, and the Dallas Cowboys in football, and obviously I told you England in soccer. Now, when it comes to the first lesson that I mentioned, preparation. See, to be a top athlete, you have to prepare physically as well as mentally, right? Physically, from a physical perspective, you need to make sure you're hitting the gym, right? Because that's just going to make you stronger, and it's going to make you faster. And any team sport that you've ever seen, and individual sports like tennis and golf, the person who's the fastest generally wins. Why? Because in sports, speed kills. When you're just faster than everyone else, you're going to score more. You're going to get more baskets. You're going to score more touchdowns. You're going to end up skating around quicker in hockey than everyone else. Hence why you look at someone like a Connor McDavid right now, and, they're having a little trouble in the finals. as we at the time of this recording, but he's probably one of the fastest skaters in hockey. Hence why he scores majority of the goals for that team. And you look at Austin Matthews on the Leafs. I mean, he scores the most goals in the league. Why? Because he's one of the fastest. So speed is very important. And how do you get more speed in sports? You work out more. You run more. When you're stronger, the stronger team, the stronger individual usually wins. If you look back in golf, one of the best golfers of all time, and I know we can debate this, but I think it's safe to say that Tiger Woods is one of the best. I'm a big fan of Jack Nicklaus as well. However, why was he able to win so many majors? He was just stronger than everyone else. He actually introduced working out a regimen in golf. Nobody was really doing that when Tiger came in. You can tell. Look at the John Daly's, and no shot at John Daly, but look at the John Daly's of the world. Look at the Arnie Palmers of the world. None of these guys were working out. I'm Phil Mickelson. All these guys. None of these guys were working out before Tiger came. So the people who are winning in golf now, they took what Tiger was doing well, which was working out to get his body stronger. Now, from a mental preparation perspective, what they do really well, top performing athletes, is that they make sure that they're prepared for their next match. How do they do that? Well, they watch game film. They watch game film on their opponent. So if it's tennis, for example, they're making sure that, Rafael Nadal is going to make sure that he's watching what Roger Federer was doing well, and maybe where there's some holes that he can expose in the game that he's going to play. A football team in a week, a football team in the NFL plays 18 weeks. Okay, their season is 18 weeks. They get one bye in that 18-week schedule. Now, during the week, they play, let's just, for argument's sake, say they play on Sundays. There's games on Saturdays and Mondays as well, but they generally play on Sundays. But the week before that game, they spend 2 days, a cumulative of 2 days, 2 work days, okay, 8 hours a day, on just watching their past week's film from the game that they played, won or lost, as well as upcoming film on the team that they're playing. Why? They're mentally preparing themselves. The quarterback is going to watch to see, hey, what is some of their defensive backs doing so that I can maybe expose and let my receiver know that? Because if the defensive back is always a little weaker with his left hand or his right leg or running down the sidelines, or maybe he finds out that the defender just doesn't like to go into the middle. Well, that's something that the quarterback can expose by letting the receiver know, hey, instead of running down the sideline a lot more, I want you to cut into the middle of the field because that defender doesn't like going there, for example. So they're preparing themselves mentally. How do you do that now, though? Well, here's what top performers in the business do. First and foremost, they are prepared for the week. They're not going to be reactive and just let the week happen. Now, go back to my previous episode, specifically the time management one, because I went really deep on how to set up your schedule, your weekly schedule for success, as top performers do. But really quickly, one thing that I can give you right now is on Sunday nights, take 45 minutes max. Shouldn't take you longer than 30 minutes once you get into the habit of this. Look over your schedule. Are the big rocks, meaning your personal stuff, working out, family time, all in the schedule? You know what you're doing from a personal perspective, date night, all that stuff, time with the kids. Then, as you shift over to looking at your business schedule, what appointments do you have set up? To sell real estate, to help people get financing as a loan officer or a mortgage broker, you need people. And so that's where you're looking at, okay, well, I have appointments. Okay, I might need a little bit more time to travel between appointments. Maybe I can reach out to the person and just get some more buffer. You're preparing your mind for the week. This is exactly where I also visualize. I take the time for the week as I look to the next, so Sunday night to Sunday morning is kind of my schedule in my Google Calendar and I start visualizing. I visualize exactly how I want each and every one of those appointments to go. I'm preparing myself, but I'm taking it to the next level because I know whatever my brain thinks about, it will bring about. Here's a caveat, guys. The brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's fake. That might have went over your head while you're driving. I'm going to say it again. The brain does not know, scientifically speaking, the brain does not know the difference between what's real and what's when you're visualizing it. How do we know this? Why do top sprinters spend majority of their time before the race visualizing how it's going to go? Look at Usain Bolt, probably the best sprinter of our time as of this recording. He spent just as much as time on the track practicing and running and physically getting himself ready as he did preparing himself mentally. He visualized his start. He visualized the first 10 meters, the next 10 meters. He actually put it in chunks. He's running his main race was 100 meters. He's always visualizing his every 10-meter chunk. And then he visualized himself winning at the end. Because then when he got to race day, the brain didn't know the difference. It already felt like it's been there before. I get the question all the time. Jazz, how do you go on stage and talk to thousands of people and not be nervous? There's a little bit of angst, as I like to call it, because words are very important. Be careful with the words you use because they do cast spells, hence the word, why it's called spelling. That I've realized that I also know that the brain doesn't know the difference. The actual neurological signal that gets sent to my brain from my stomach, this is true for everyone, doesn't know the difference between excitement, nervousness, anxiety. But I use the word there's always a little angst in my stomach. And that is a mixture of being maybe a little nervous, being being excited. I'm passionate for the crowd and the value that I'm going to bring. But one of the reasons I have very little actual nervousness is because I visualized it already. I have visualized. So as of today, as this recording, I have not yet spoken in front of a crowd of 10,000 people in real life. I hope you guys caught that. In real life, I haven't actually spoken in front of 10,000 people. In my brain, I've already visualized it 1,000 times, minimum, probably more than that. So the day then I do hit the stage, hopefully at the Scotiabank Center, that's kind of where I want to go because I'm from Toronto. I visualize where my videographers are going to be. I visualize all the lights. I visualize the crowd. I visualize what I'm going to be doing before, during, after, the elation that I'm going to be feeling after hitting a crowd of 10,000. Because now when I go hit that stage, the brain's like, oh, well, we've been here before. Just go through the process. So that that first lesson is preparation. Mentally, you got to prepare yourself, and physically, you got to prepare yourself because you also got to rest, right? Going back to the example of football, when I spoke about understanding that the team also in that week between games from the Sunday to Sunday, they take one full day off for sure. Sometimes if they won, the coach will give them 2 days off. So if they played on Sunday and they won, the coach will say, if you ever see this in post-game conferences or actually in the locker room when the coach is giving the speech after the win, he'll usually say, okay, guys, great win. You did fantastic. And by the way, I'll see you on Wednesday. And the team goes nuts in the locker room because they know they got 2 days off. The real reason the coach is doing that, yes, for positive reinforcement, but also understanding the body needs to rest because it's just got beaten up for an hour. It also got beat up physically and mentally for the week before during practice. He also wants them to come back on that Wednesday fresh, ready to go, put the pads on, let's practice hard for the upcoming game. So that number one lesson is preparation. It all starts there, guys, from a mental perspective and a physical perspective. The second major lesson that I've learned from sports, and I've now taken it into my business, is understanding that I need to surround myself with positive and inspiring people. Because I know if there's 5 inspiring people around me all day long, well, then I'm going to up my game. right? Because if you hang around 5 people that are just like negative Nellies or Debbie Downers or always seeing the glasses half empty, well, you're just going to start to see that, because we all end up becoming the 5 people that we hang around with. Think about it, right? Just think about yourself right now. Who do you spend a lot of time with? Like, think about the 5 people. You're kind of the average of those 5 people. So if you hang around 5 people who make hundreds of millions of dollars, chances are you're probably making hundreds of millions of dollars too, because they're not going to really want to hang out with you. You're also going to feel like you might, like, do I even deserve to be here? And vice versa. They're going to not want you around as much because you're probably not living up to their standard. People in the top 1% in this business, top performing athletes, the best sports teams, the dynasties, the teams that win 4, 6, 8 championships out of 10, what they've come to learn is that their standards are very high. The best example I can give you is from the Redeem team. Yes, I think the dream team of 1992 in Barcelona with Jordan and Bird and Jackson and so many others. Not Jackson, Magic Johnson. I was thinking about Phil Jackson, one of the best coaches, by the way, of all time. Curious to get your thoughts on that. Yes, the dream team was definitely a better team. And I love everybody on the Redeem team, but if they ever played each other, there would be no contest. I know the guys on the Redeem team, LeBron, Kobe, Wade, Bosh, Chris Paul, they all thought that they could, but I don't think they would be able to hold a candle next to them. But with that said, the lesson I took from that Redeem team, and if you have not yet watched the Netflix special, I'm not sure if it's still on there, get your hands on it. Because when I speak around surrounding yourself around people that are doing better than you and raising your standards, to me, there is no better example than the one that I'm going to share with you today and in and around the Redeem team. So the Redeem team consisted originally of all those names I mentioned: LeBron, Chris Bosh, Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade. And they lost the Olympics the year before. And they were having trouble in the lead up to the Olympics in 2008 until they called on one gentleman. And that gentleman's name is Mr. Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant. And they called him in, the coach did, Coach K from Duke, who's coaching also this Redeem team, and said, we need you. We need you to represent your country. But more importantly, we need you to raise the standards of this team. Kobe came in and everything changed. And here's how it changed, because he raised the standards. What was happening is, because they were in all over America getting ready for this tournament, and then the Olympics, and it eludes me if it was in London, these Olympics, but it was somewhere in Europe. That little part eludes me, but they were partying a lot. They would go out at night, as young guys do. I mean, the LeBrons at that time in 2008, I mean, you're talking, they're in their mid-20s. They're on the top of the NBA world. People notice them. They're out and about having fun. And they would go out, leave the hotel around 12 o'clock, come back at 4 or 5 in the morning. What they started to notice, though, is that when they came back at 5 o'clock, Kobe was having breakfast. And they said, wow, man, you're up early. Let's go to the gym. Kobe said, I've already been in the gym for an hour. Hence why I got ice wrapped up around my knees and my elbows. What does that mean? What can you take from that? Why was that important to the Redeem team? Because as he did that, they, LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, stopped going out. And they said, if this guy, who was a little older than them at that time, but just came off a championship and also won a second one after these Olympics, but also won 3 back in the early 2000s, Kobe and the Lakers. If he's doing this and he's already at the top of the game, then what are we doing? For the rest of that tournament, every single day. It started with 2 guys, LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, and the rest of the team, the other 8 players or so. Every morning at 5 o'clock, they put in a workout before practice because that's what Kobe did. So see what happens when you surround yourself around people that are doing it at a higher level. You start to notice why they're winning. It's all the stuff that's happening behind the scenes. It's not what you and I see necessarily on a Sunday of a football game, a Friday night a basketball game, or a soccer game on TV. It's all the stuff that they're doing. I'm talking about like the top athletes. It's what they're doing behind the scenes. Top performers in the business. Yeah, you get to maybe see all their rewards that they're winning at your company office party. But what are they doing when nobody's watching? They're making calls. They're connecting with people. They're putting out social media content every single day, even when they don't feel like it. You don't think Kobe was hurting? His body wasn't hurting. He didn't feel like it, but he did it anyways. That's the real difference between somebody who's great and somebody who's good. The great do it even when they don't want to. And so that's the second lesson that I've taken from sports. But I would have to say this last one is probably the most important one that I've personally taken from sports into business. And that is understanding that to win, I need to lose first. I needed to lose first. And not to get too high when I'm winning and not to get too low when I'm losing. I'm somewhere in between, generally speaking, and understanding that losing is part of the process and failing forward is very important. Taking something from that loss in business, which could mean I didn't get the listing, the client left, I didn't have the month I wanted, I didn't have the quarter I wanted, I didn't have the year that I wanted. But understanding that I can come back. And it pains me to speak about this team that I'm going to speak about, but it's recent. And they showed this very well recently. And as a Los Angeles Lakers, to even say this name on my podcast, it hurts, Bo. But I'm going to be speaking about the Boston Celtics. And congratulations to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, the stars of that team. The organization, I can't stand that organization. Truth is, I can't really stand any Boston team, including the Patriots, the Red Sox, and the Bruins. I don't know what it is. I don't know why Toronto, I don't know, something. Anyways, the Celtics, for sure, I understand why. Because if you're a Laker fan, you can't be a Celtics fan. But yeah, I could be a Jason Tatum fan, and I could be a Jaylen Brown fan, because I obviously give the respect where it's due. Last 7 years, the Boston Celtics have either lost in 5 of the last 7 years, I apologize, that Jason Tatum, their star, has been on the team. 5 of the last 7 years, they've either lost in the Eastern Conference Finals, which is the semifinals, or the finals. Every year, they went to either the semifinals or the finals and lost. Now, they could have dismantled the team completely, the general manager and the owner. The players could have quit. Jason Tatum, the star, contract a couple of $100 million. Jaylen Brown, couple of $100 million contract over 7, 8, 9 years. They could have left and said, screw this. Like, it's just not going to work. 7 years, not 7 days, not 7 months. 7 years of losing that close. I'm not even talking about being the worst or the shittiest team in the league. When you're the shittiest team in the league, your expectations are not that high. But I mean, you're going right to the top and losing. And they kept coming back, and it paid off. 3 days ago, they won the championship. They won. How? They learned. They took the lessons of why they lost in those semifinals or in the finals. They had to figure it out. They went back to preparing. They went back to surrounding themselves. How? Well, they changed the coach. That was something that they had to figure out for themselves. And so I urge you to lean in if you're an avid sports fan. Lean in a little bit more and understand some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. Pick up the books of the greats of like Phil Jackson, Listen to podcasts that some of the athletes are now coming. I mean, we're in a no better time. When I was at the age of 12, back in 1992, 1993, I mean, there was like 2 channels that we got to see maybe 15 minutes of a post conference. There wasn't a lot. Now it's endless, the amount that's available to you to catch on to and get access to. Behind the scenes, in the locker room, the post conference, because all these teams now have their own channels on YouTube. So they'll give you the full post conference. Back in the days, we used to get, as I mentioned, little snippets. And I had to try to take as much as I could from that. That's where I learned the first time I heard Wayne Gretzky say, the way that he is so calm on the ice is because Gordie Howe told him, okay, which was his mentor, or the guy that he looked up to, said, don't get so high on yourself when you're winning, and don't get so low on yourself when you're losing. Stop judging yourself so much. Stop being so hard on yourself. Take the lesson and move the fuck on. That, I'm sure Gordie Howe swore as well. But when I heard Gretzky say that back in 92, 93, 94, as a 12, 13, 14-year-old, I still remember it. I'm 42 today. I say it to my crew all the time. Guys, it's never a complete failure. There is losing, though. I just don't judge myself that much. I wanted to get 52 appointments, for example, this past week. I think we hit 40. I lost. Period. Black and white. No participation trophies. I lost. But I also learned something. I was able to take the silver lining out of it. Okay, we got 42. You know, we have a new girl on the phones. Shout out to Christiane, who's making appointments. She's brand new at it. She's doing amazing. I got to coach her through it. That's a silver lining. That's a W that I can take from the macro loss in that conversation. And at the end of the day, here's something I'll leave you guys with. That you really only lose in this business when you are out of it. You are losing in this business when you quit and you finish. So I knew, well, I got only 40-something appointments. I wanted 52. I'm going to move on to this coming week, and I'm going to try to do a little bit better. Maybe I could have spent a little bit more time with the guys and gals that are calling. Maybe there's just one. Maybe I could have taken some more calls. Maybe I could have made some more outbound phone calls myself to make the connection rate slightly a little bit better, right? So at the end of the day, I just didn't judge myself and tell myself, you're a fucking idiot, Jazz. You suck. You're the worst. No. I said, bro, you lost. Let's go. It's not a macro loss. I'm not out of the business. That's a macro loss. Now, that might take me a few fucking days to get over. I get that. And that's okay. But in the big scheme of things, it's not that big. So if you are an avid sports fan, lean in. And if you're not, maybe start. Just what's your favorite sport? Think about the top athlete and or team in that sport. And then I want you to follow them a little bit. Follow them online. Follow them, their YouTube page. Follow their podcasts. Because you'll be surprised as these little lessons you can take from sports, from top performing athletes, and how you can relate it to your business. That is episode 252. We're going to jump into live coaching calls with me. I know we got people lined up already. If you want to have a live coaching call with me, all you got to do is go to ftguacademy.com/call. This is where you get to pick my brain on whatever is happening in your business or your life that I might be able to coach you through.
Hello?
Jason?
Yeah, speaking.
Jason, Jazz Takar calling. You're live on the Jazz Takar podcast, brother.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Amazing, man. Just living the dream. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. We're just about to door knock.
You're about to door knock.
Yeah.
My man. I like that. Well, talk to me. How can I bring you some value on this coaching call, brother?
Yeah, man. So basically, I've been a licensed realtor for almost 2 years now. And honestly, man, it's been a hell of a grind, you know? Very tough, but at the same time, I do love it. And honestly, one of my biggest struggles, I would say, is like creating a schedule, right? So for me, my I guess lead generation sources, I have door knocking, sphere of influence, open house, and content. And so for someone who wants to make 100K GCI by the end of the year, how do you think I could make my schedule according to those like resources? Like from the moment I wake up to the moment I sleep, what is something that you would do if you were in my position currently?
Okay, so I think I heard you properly. You were saying you want to make 150,000.
About 100K GCI, 150, yeah.
Call it 150, okay? And if you're comfortable with sharing right now, since the start of the year to today, how much have we earned? Not how much you collected, how much have you earned, which means that you have these closings coming up, all that.
About 15K.
15, okay. So we're about 135K short.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So here's the process that I would go through, brother. Do you know how much to earn $135,000? Do you know how many deals that is?
No.
Okay, great. So this is perfect. This is why we do this. Okay, so you are, from what I see from your phone number, you're somewhere in the Greater Toronto area.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So your average gross commission is approximately, I'm going to say safe to say, about 15,000 on the high end before you pay your brokerage and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So let's talk about 135,000 earned, okay? And after you pay all your splits, let's just work with a nice round number of 10,000. Okay, perfect. Per deal. So that means you need to do 13 and a half deals. Let's round it up to 14 deals.
Yeah.
Got it. You have 5 months to write these deals. 6 months, because we're coming to the end of June right now. So you have July, August, September, October, November, December. You have a full 6 months to get to 14 deals. That's going to be approximately 2.5 deals per month.
Okay. Yeah.
Got it? Okay. So now to do 2.5 deals per month, I would say you need approximately, with 2 years in the business, and just kind of, I got to get to the source as quickly as possible so I can bring you some value on this call. That tells me that your closing ratio is right now still low, and that's okay. You're only in the business for 2 years, brother. Like, you're not going to have a closing ratio of someone like myself because I'm at 20 years. I'm not because I'm a better human being than you. I've had more reps at it than you. I mean, it would be silly for you to think that you're going to be able to close as effectively as me right now.
Yeah.
Got it? Okay, so first and foremost, I want you to wake up every single morning and I want you to go to sleep and post this on a Post-it wherever you brush your teeth, which is, I am currently doing 3 deals a month.
Okay.
Okay? I want you to write that where you brush your teeth. Hopefully you do it twice a day, brother. Okay? And you go, and you say, I am currently doing 3 deals a month. Remember, the brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not. So what we're doing is training the brain, and anything you say after the words I am starts the process of a beautiful thing called manifestation. Okay. So what I say to myself, for example, and I'm in real life, I'm not there yet. Okay, Jason, but this is what I manifest. I wake up and go to sleep. I probably say this to myself without any exaggeration about 15 times in a day. I say, I am a world-renowned speaker that gets paid $50,000 for every talk that I do to change people's lives.
Okay.
See how that just came out? You know that I've said it a few times to myself. Okay? So we need to start the process now of manifestation. Okay? So that might sound like foofy-foffy shit to you, and that's okay, but we need to we need to start the process. Otherwise, here's the thing, brother. See, manifestation is at work no matter what, if you believe in it or not. It's like gravity. It's always going to do its thing. And so you currently are getting the results that you have right now, brother, of doing, it's probably about 2 deals that we've done so far in the year with the income that you told me. Okay?
Yeah.
Based on the thoughts and your words to yourself that you've been saying 6 months previously. So if you believe in what I said or not, it doesn't matter. And everybody who's watching or listening, it's the same thing. But I need you to start now your day and go to sleep. It's very important when you say it when you go to sleep, okay? Because it seeps into your subconscious while you're sleeping. So I am currently doing 3 deals a month. Now let me get
Yeah.
into the tactical stuff for you, brother. Okay, 3 deals a month. That means at your current closing ratio, you need approximately 15 appointments.
Okay.
Got it? Because for every 15 appointments that you're gonna take in a month, I'm gonna say that's gonna turn into 3 deals.
3 deals. Okay.
Okay? 15 appointments every month.
Yeah.
That is only about 3, call it 4, okay, for argument's sake. So let's call it 16 appointments in a month. That's 4
Yeah.
appointments in a week.
Okay.
Now,
All right.
Now,
Yeah.
stick with me, brother. There's more.
Yeah.
4 appointments doesn't mean showings. That's the stuff.
Yeah.
That's part of the process, brother.
Yeah.
You knocking on doors is part of the
Yeah.
process. That's not an appointment. An appointment, okay, for this conversation and for the rest of your life is when you have a one-on-one with someone that is thinking about buying, selling, or investing into real estate.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're starting to chunk this down. Okay. One of my elements of my success table, okay, is exactly that, which is it's OBAT, OBAAT. That stands for one bite at a time.
Okay. Yeah.
You're gonna eat an elephant. You can't fucking eat it all in one bite. I hope there's no kids in the background. If there are, they gotta.
No, it's all good. It's just me.
Got it. One bite at a time, okay? And so we need 4 appointments every single week. Now, how are we going to get these appointments? Great, we door knock.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay? What time? How long have you been door knocking for?
So I've been at it for about a year, but honestly, I'm very inconsistent. Just because I think it's because if I don't see results fast enough, I get very demotivated, and I'm like, what am I doing this for? What is my purpose, right?
Yeah. So why did you get in the business?
So originally I always dreamt of building a business. I'm the only business owner in my whole family, so I wanted to be the one that stands out, and also going to the real estate purposes. I always wanted to learn to be more of an investor, kind of going more into development. So I thought, hey, you know what? Let me start off as a realtor. I could learn valuable skills such as sales, marketing, negotiations, and then from there I could take this to a next level.
Okay, got
right?
it. So Jason, if you're going to want to live that, all the stuff you just said, especially the family stuff and becoming the investor, if you continue to be inconsistent, you're not going to get that result.
Yeah.
So I want you to live in the pain of understanding that you're not going to get any of that if you consistently stay inconsistent.
Okay.
If you consistently stay inconsistent, you are not going to get to live that life.
Okay.
Okay. So door knocking is a great way to generate leads, in my opinion. Okay. I just think that there's a couple of others that are non-negotiables. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go back to door knocking for a second, though. What times do you find are best? You're door knocking right now. It's probably around 11 o'clock or something. Do you find that you get people to answer the doors at this time?
Yeah, I would say from 11 and 2 is the perfect time.
Okay, great. Perfect. So, and here's what you're going to do. Okay. In your schedule, I want you to do this 3 days a week. Okay. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or whatever 3 days you want to pick. It doesn't matter to me. 11 to 2 in your calendar, in your schedule, door knocking. Every time that you don't feel like doing it, because remember, the difference between being great and average is that great, they do it even when they don't want to.
Yeah.
Got it? And so even when you don't want to, or you didn't get any results the last time you did it, the numbers in sales always pan out. Always. It's why sales to me is the best, because I know that it's just a numbers game.
Yeah.
Some will, some won't. So what?
Yeah.
Got it? And so I need you to pick the 3 days. What 3 days are you picking?
I would say, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Perfect. Done. So next week on a Friday, you shouldn't be door knocking.
Okay.
Got it?
Sounds
Okay.
good.
So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 to 2. Here's what I want you to do. What days of the week are you taking off? You're allowed to take days off. A day off for sure.
I would say Sunday.
Sundays, you're off. Sunday,
Yeah.
I want you to tell everybody in your life, including new clients, that Sunday is your family day. You have an appointment. That's it. You have an appointment with
Yeah.
yourself. You have an appointment with your family. I don't care what you call it. You cannot work on Sundays unless an offer comes in, because an offer is an offer, and that's what you have to do if somebody needs to buy houses or they get an offer on their listing. But every other reason can wait till Monday or do it on Saturday.
Okay.
Got it?
Good. Got it.
Okay, so Sunday you're off. Perfect. Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for 2 hours. I need you to call your sphere of influence.
Okay.
Got it? You're gonna first thing you're gonna do is, if I were you, I wouldn't even door knock today, bro. Go back to your office or go to your home, call, and make sure you have do you have a CRM?
Yeah, I do.
What do you use?
Follow-up boss.
Got it. I want you to call everybody in your follow-up boss starting now. Okay. And then don't do it on Saturday. Do it on Monday again for 2 hours. I want you to call everybody and ask their permission if you're allowed to stay in touch with them.
Okay.
Okay. And you're going to easily say, hey, Bo, it's Jason calling. I know it's been a minute since we spoke. I wanted to get your help on something. You cool with that? Wait till they respond. Great. Listen, I wanted to get your opinion on some of the marketing that I'm going to be doing through emails, phone calls, social media, as well as exclusive invites to events that I'm going to be putting on. Are you okay to just give me your opinion, bro? And if it gets to too much, just let me know. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Did that sound salesy to you, by the way?
No, it sounds pretty friendly.
Got it. Hey, now that I quickly have you on the phone, Jason, where's your headspace at personally with what you're hearing and listening to in the market?
Mm-hmm.
Let them speak.
Yeah.
If they say something, I'm kind of interested and maybe I'm not, I don't really care, no problem. Something that my team and I have been doing is a financial checkup from the neck up. A lot of people are starting to get value from it because it just kind of, we get a better idea of what you might want to accomplish long term. We'll show you how we might be able to help. It's about 20 minutes. It's on Zoom. There's no cost for it. When's usually good for you? That if they say yes to that, Jason, that's one of your 4 appointments.
Okay.
Everything circles back to getting appointments.
Okay.
Got it? Door knocking.
Yeah.
They say, come give me value right now. I completely understand that that's something that you would want. I have a bunch of other doors to knock because the things have changed in the market. When's usually good for you? Thursdays at 6 or Fridays at 5?
Yeah.
That's an appointment.
Okay.
Got it? Okay.
Yeah.
Every single day, I need you to put out a video on social media documenting something that you learned or you're learning.
Okay.
Anything. Put something out there. Anything is better than what you're doing probably now, which is no videos.
Yeah.
Are you doing daily videos?
Not daily videos.
Got it. I need you to go daily. More is more.
Okay.
Fuck the quality. Who cares about the lighting? Nobody gives a shit about your haircut. Nobody cares about you that as much as you think that they care about you. And I mean that I know that nobody really cares about me as much as I think that sometimes they do.
Yeah.
You got your family, you got your close friends. Everyone else is thinking about themselves, including your family and your friends.
Yeah.
Okay? So very important. I need you to get onto social media. At the end of every single week, you either got 4 appointments or you didn't. If you didn't get them, you lost. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't beat yourself up in the mirror and tell yourself you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You say, Jason, we got next week. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay.
Sunday night, you take 30 minutes. You sit back, you look at your schedule, and you visualize the phone calls that you're making. Because right now, as I told you to make the phone calls, 99% of people are overthinking and thinking, oh my God, what is my friend going to say when I call them? How about you visualize that your friend's going to say, fuck, bro, I've been waiting for your call. I actually have a property I need to sell.
Yeah.
The brain doesn't know the difference between what's right and wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
Got it? You get 4 you get 4 appointments every week. That's 16 appointments. You'll start to close 3 deals a month. You'll get to your $135,000.
All right, sounds good.
All right, Jason, I appreciate it, buddy. I got to jump on my next call.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, brother.
Take care.
Keep listening. Take care. All right, let's jump over to the next call. We have Ben. All right. Ben from beautiful British Columbia, I think.
Well, this is Ben speaking.
Ben from beautiful British Columbia?
That's me.
Jazz Takar calling you live on the Jazz Takar podcast, buddy, for your coaching call. How you doing today?
I can't complain. How are you doing, Jazz?
Just living the dream, my man. Just living the dream.
Good.
How can I bring you some value today, buddy? What's on your mind?
Yeah, that's awesome. I just want to first thank you for taking the time out of your day to do a coaching call. This is great. And let's get right into it. Now, I just got a couple questions here. Start with cold calling. I come from the car business. I've been a realtor for only a short time, about a couple months now. But I've been in the car business for about 5 years. So cold calling is no secret or surprise to me. I just want to, get more confident in cold calling about real estate. Now, my first question in regards to cold calling in real estate would be, who do you cold call?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if you know my backstory, brother. I was in car sales for 3 years before I got into real estate 20 years ago. And so any car salesman holds a very, very near and dear place in my heart because I know what you've done. And so how long were you in car sales for?
I was in car sales. I was in car sales for 5 years. Before that, I worked on the lot. My dad was general manager for my whole life. So that's kind of what got me into it. And then
5 years.
Yeah. And then when the market changed, yeah.
Give me an idea. Because I'm going to tell you pretty much what I did. But before I do that, give me an idea. How many cars a year did you do approximately, brother?
A year? About, I was averaging about 10 a month, give or take, depending on the month. So call it 100, 120.
Call it about 700 deals you've done.
Yeah.
Yeah. With people? Like who bought those? People?
Yeah. Yeah. People. Yeah.
Your answer, that's who we're calling first.
Okay.
That's it. That's exactly what I did, bro. I took all my bill of sales, okay? And I put them into a CRM. Back then, I used an older CRM. I don't think it exists anymore, but it doesn't really matter. I put all their names, their numbers, if I had their emails. And back then, it was a little tougher because when I was selling cars, I started 23 years ago. I mean, we didn't even really do any business through email. So it was all through phone calls. You're obviously no stranger, as you mentioned at the start, to make phone calls. You're no stranger to speaking with people. These are all huge positives. I just think you're misdirected right now, if I may say so myself.
No, I totally agree.
Okay, awesome. Because I wouldn't cold call anybody. I'll do what I don't actually cold call. People think I cold call on the videos they see of me on social media. I'm never cold calling. It's all warm calling.
Okay.
I call it warm calling. I call the people that already know me, like me. I just got to get them to trust me. You're better off right now, as I was when I started, because I already know they trusted me. They bought a car. Now, 700 people might get down to 400 because you sold them a car, but they sold it or they hated it, whatever reason. They didn't even like you. You were just a necessary evil in the process. Okay? And so now it's 400 people. Awesome. But now you have 400 people that are going to be your army of salespeople that are going to be thinking about you possibly, because when they did buy that car, they were like, Ben, you were the fucking best, bro. I loved how you went through that process on delivery day for me. I loved how you checked in on me. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but the ones that you did, they're going to remember that. And you're going to call them and you're going to say, Jazz, how you doing? How's that Acura MDX treating you still? You sold it. Oh, great. Like, did you make money on it? No? Okay. How was it? Did you enjoy it, though, the time that you had it? You did? Amazing. Listen, Jazz, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're busy. Brother, I could kick myself because I know I didn't stay in touch with you, right? If you didn't stay in touch with them. And I've learned my lesson. And so I'm taking my talents as you were gracious enough to, stay loyal with me with buying that Acura MDX. And I needed your opinion on some of the stuff that I'm going to be doing. I moved into real estate. I'm not calling you to ask you if you're buying or selling or investing. That would be silly. The chances that the stars are going to align today and that's going to happen, Jazz, the person I'm calling, is going to be, obviously very, very low. I'm actually just calling because I wanted to see if I could get your opinion on some of the marketing that I'm going to be doing, which is a couple of emails a month. I'm going to invite you to some events that I'm doing. They're all free. They're exclusive events, educating people on how to create wealth in real estate, possibly using that as your vehicle. I'm going to be doing some content on social media. Like when I bought the car, when you did the car with me 4 years ago, last year, I wasn't doing social media, but now I got to kind of get on it. And I'm a little nervous starting it out, even though I could do this phone call and I could see you one-on-one, but when I'm doing the videos, it's like I'm going to be a little nervous. If that's the truth, by the way, Ben. Yeah. Okay? And see how I'm buying you into my story now? Side note.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? But see how I'm being fucking honest, not bullshitting. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you can probably feel it. It's not even my story.
Totally, yeah.
You got it? But now if you tell your actual story, they're going to fall in love with you all over again. Okay?
Yeah.
And so are you okay, Jazz, the person I'm calling, to give me that opinion? You are? Awesome. Thank you. That's it. I didn't want that. Okay, great. Because what's going to happen, brother, when you call, and I need you to call the 700. And Ben, brother, as a one car sales guy to another car sales guy, my man, if you can call the person Bo who fucking hated your guts, but you still have his name and number, if you could call that person and say what I said to you and he tells you to fuck off, it like that rep that you're going to build is so huge. Yeah. Because I know that's a hard one too. You know what I mean? Bo really wasn't happy at the end of the day because maybe he wanted to cancel the deal, but you guys had a deposit of his, and like I get it all. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so what I would say to you is if you can get over that one, because Clyde, the guy who bought that Civic from you and is in love with you, that's an easy one, bro. You still got to make the call. But
it's a much warmer call than it is.
100%. But you know what? Maybe Bo is going through something in his life or was at that time, and now he's ready to say it's okay. Like he's okay to maybe stay in touch, and maybe he's not. Who cares? I don't care if you take your list from 700 to 350, brother. I would actually, if you called me or sent me a DM in a month from now, because it shouldn't take you a longer than a month to get through to 700 people. No. Okay. And said, Jazz, fucking 350 people told me to screw off. I'm going to be like, that's the best thing that happened. You have 350 people that are your army now. Okay. Yeah. So I have a coaching academy. It's called From the Ground Up. I could have called it Purple Cow Academy. You know what I mean? I called it From the Ground Up because that's how you build a business. That's how you build a strong foundation. That's how you build a home. Can't build it on a swampy foundation. Okay, so I don't want you to even think of cold calling. Not even don't even have it in your realm. Don't even door knock. My last caller is a door knocker. Great. I said the same thing to him. Did you call you people that already know you and like you? You're one step ahead, Ben. You got people that know you. They probably somewhat liked you at some point, but we know they trusted you because they signed on the dotted line. Yeah. Got it? Yeah. Okay, so quickly, you had a second question.
Yeah, I had one about door knocking, but I'll leave that alone for now.
I appreciate that. I know you were listening. I knew you were listening. That means when you're telling me that. Go get those names, numbers. Let's get these guys in the CRM right away. Go get yourself a CRM. You have to invest into yourself and invest into your business before somebody invests into you. So don't be afraid to spend the $50 a month on some CRM. Just get Follow Up Boss or KV Core or something. Don't overthink this shit, okay? They're all the same. The best one is the one that you use. All right, brother. Keep watching and keep listening. Thanks for being on the Jazz Tackle podcast.
Thank you for taking the time, Jazz. I really appreciate it. Hope you have a great rest of your day.
Take care, brother. All right. One more to go, and it is Cynthia from the nation's capital. We're in Canada, so that nation capital being Ottawa for my American friends and the worldwide listeners.
Cynthia speaking.
Cynthia, Jazz Tackar calling. You're live on the Jazz Tackar podcast.
Hello. Sorry, I was just on the phone with my daughter. I tried to explain to her how to do the vacuum. I'm like, oh, I gotta go.
You answered while you were speaking to your daughter. I feel very humbled. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah. They're off. So it's all good.
Well, talk to me, Cynthia. How can I bring you some value today?
Oh, okay. Well, it's a bit of a unique situation. So I'm a realtor in Ottawa. I was looking for an investment property, and I settled on one in Costa Rica, of all places. And yeah, purchased it. It's a pre-build. Checked all the boxes, and me and my business partner, we loved it so much that we asked the developers, "Can we sell this, to Ottawa people?" They're like, "Yeah, go for it." So we're selling it, right? It's something that it'll be built in a year. And so we're trying to sort of target, empty nesters, people who are thinking of, instead of buying, a second property in Ontario, which can be costly now, right? To consider this. It's taking a while.
What's taking a while?
For people to get that concept of buying in a foreign country, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. I think I know where you're going with the question. But I want to hear it from you. What's the actual question? Just so I bring you value.
Yeah. Just how can I sort of keep in contact with them and keep sort of communicating the value of the property, of what,
Education.
it'll bring. Yeah.
Lead with education. Okay. So first and foremost, lead with education.
Okay.
And you do that by telling people all the things that they need to be worried about with that investment.
Right.
There has to be.
Right.
There has to be. So I primarily work with real estate investors as my target market for the last decade out of the 20 years. And I can tell you I've sold property, not in Costa Rica, not outside North America, actually. 90% of the investment deals that we speak about and promote are all kind of in the greater Toronto area, but that 10% does consist of there was something in Ottawa we did maybe 4 or 5, 6 years ago before COVID. There's things that we've done on the West Coast, and most recently, and probably the most successful one we did was in Florida.
Okay.
And so I know the reason I said I understand where they're coming from, because I also went through the process myself. So here is what worked really well for me with the Florida property, and which will work really well with you, because you guys actually have skin in the game. You bought.
Yes.
Got it.
We bought it. Yeah.
Perfect. And so I need you to speak about that more and more and more. And the way to do that, in my opinion, and what I did is, after I purchased it, I did webinars. I did events.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you have a list of names and numbers of people that you stay in contact with?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. We did a home show, and then we did sort of another festival sort of in one of the wealthier communities in Ottawa. And so we do have names and emails.
What about the people that you've just done, like, even other transactions with, your past clients?
We haven't. I mean, we've mentioned it, but no, we haven't. I mean, we've talked a little bit about it in like our newsletter or whatnot.
That's not going to be good enough, right? So what I want you to do is, So what I want you to do is have the list all in one. So I don't want you to separate who you met at a home show and your cousin or your neighbor and somebody that you did a deal with. Everyone's just people, right? Like some are warmer to us and some are a little colder to us. That's all. That's the only difference, right? But you have cousins that you're probably closer to and ones that you don't see that often, right? It's the same concept and thesis that I've always had in 30 years of being in this industry. I don't, like, I have a database of 12,900 and change, and they're not really like differentiated Other than like, I know how they came in, but that's it. I
Right.
treat them all the same. Right. And so what I
Right.
want you to do is the same thing. And what you're going to do,
Okay.
I would highly recommend that you put this together the second we get off the call. Call your daughter back, figure out the vacuum. And then what I want you to do is set up, okay, a date. Just schedule it. Let it be
Right.
10
Yeah.
days from now. No more than
Okay.
that. You don't need more than that. You're going to do a webinar. Okay. But
Okay.
here's what I want you to do. Okay. When you purchase this, you purchased it with a developer.
Right.
Let's
Great
get-
developer.
Great. Speaks English?
Yeah, he's Canadian.
Perfect.
He's a very well-known Toronto businessman. Yeah.
Fantastic. Let's get him on the webinar.
Okay.
Got it. Did you
Got
need a
it.
lawyer to put this deal together?
Yes.
Great. Let's get that
Yeah.
lawyer on the webinar. How did you get the financing for this? Or is it all cash?
It's all cash for me. Like
Can-
I'm taking it out of my
Can I, as an investor,
Thing.
get financing?
yes.
Perfect.
Yeah. Third party financing, or there's 2 banks that will do it in Costa Rica.
Perfect. Let's get the bankers in Costa Rica. Okay.
Okay.
Fourth
Yeah.
person is how do the tax implications work? Okay. So I make $1 in cash flow. Can I bring the dollar back into Canada? If I can or if I can't, I don't like, it doesn't matter to me. I just need to know how that works. Okay.
Right.
Great.
Yeah.
So
okay.
now we're going to do a panel.
Okay.
Your voice seems very like easy in terms of you doing this yourself. Okay. You can do it with your business partner or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Do not pitch the investment.
Okay.
I need you to have a different mindset. What I want you to do is just
Right.
educate everyone. See how I brought
Okay.
everyone in the process? And maybe here's the last person that you can bring in. As an investor, I don't ever want to go there. I just want to rent it out.
Right. Yeah.
Who's going to handle that
great.
for me?
Yeah, they have a great rental program.
Let's go.
So the-
Who bring that person on, that property manager.
okay.
Educate,
Yeah.
educate. You're going to sort automatically with people that are interested.
Right.
Got it?
Right. Yeah.
Side note.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's
Okay.
how you're going to do this. Here's the best thing. You're going to record it on Zoom.
Right.
You're not going to mention it just in writing in your newsletter that you send out every other week. You're going to put the Zoom recording in there. You're going to take the Zoom recording, I apologize first, put it out on a YouTube page so it's easily watchable, and you're going to send that to everybody who didn't show up.
Right. Right.
Everybody who did show up, Cynthia, you're going to call them
Right.
and say, I just want to get your
Yeah.
feedback, Bo. What did you think about the webinar? Because it's the first time we've done it with like in a panel and spoke about this opportunity. What did you think? Just in general, like the logistics of it. Oh my God, it was so nice to see your face, Cynthia. No. Oh my God, the audio sucked. Okay, great. Thank you for that. I'm going to take notes. Just now that I have you on the phone, I'm curious, where's your headspace at with this type of investment? I actually really love it. I want to do it. I'm not ready. No problem. You want us to stay in touch? Yes? Fantastic. Oh, Cynthia, you know what? I don't want Costa Rica, but I did want to buy beside Parliament Hill. You're a realtor. You got business out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Right. Yeah.
Got it.
It's
So
twofold.
I sold 26 units in Florida, exactly with what I told you, in a 90-day period.
Oh, that's
Exact
great. Yeah.
same process. I'm not telling you to impress you. It's more to impress upon you where the data is actually coming from.
Right.
So you got to go out on. You just kind of mentioning it on your social means nothing, and then you just kind of mentioning it in your newsletter means nothing. You got to proactively go out and speak about it, but you're not promoting it like, buy this. You guys should buy 7 of them. It's the best investment. You sound like you're on an infomercial, right? So what I want you to do is just educate people. Bring all, I always get the question, right? How do I handle objections? Bring them up all up front, all of them. All of them. Like like anything I've ever sold in my life, I tell everybody right up front, all the bad things and everything that I know that they're going to mention or they're thinking anyways. I go into a listing appointment. Before we get started, just so you know, my commission is this. This is what I think the value is. I'm going to mention to you how I'm going to get this sold for top dollar for you with the least amount of headache. But are we good to move forward from what I just said? No, your commission's too high. I'm already meeting somebody who's half your rate. No problem. Thank you for seeing me. And I leave.
Okay.
Because what am I going to do? I'm going to try to convince you. Like,
Yeah.
and stick handle, like people are like, how do I handle the objection? The person's not a hockey puck. You can't handle them, like stick handle them. What I do then is I just move on to somebody else.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? Like I'm
Yeah.
sorting and not convincing. It's why I get to sleep really well at night, right? Like I'm not trying to convince anyone. I'm just sorting. I'm looking for that beautiful green apple that's nice and ripe.
Right.
And then you have some red apples. You have some red apples that are just not ripe yet. I don't throw those in the garbage.
No.
Because they just need a little bit of time and a little bit of sunlight. And then there's rotten, dirty apples that never want to hear from me because you're a real estate agent who charges commissions and you're all just the same. I hate every single one of you. Great. Let's part ways. Because anytime you spend time convincing, it doesn't generally work out anyways. They give you the let me think about it. What you're better off doing is just saying, okay, great. And you move on because in our country, there's 30 million people. Some will, some won't. So what?
Right.
That bring you value today?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
I appreciate you.
Side note.
Thanks for your time. Yeah.
Side note, if you do this webinar,
right.
okay, if you do this webinar, I'm as Jazz Tacker going to be educated about it. If I like it, okay, I will personally also consider sending it to my list of investors.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
But I'm not going to do it because if you don't do the actual webinar, Cynthia, I don't think you really believe in it then.
Oh, I do. I just have to get the other people there. Yeah,
Well,
sure.
The developer should run and do this because he has a vested interest in doing it. And and you just need to stick with the what, where, when, hows, and whys with all these people on your panel. Developer, why did you decide to build this there? If he's putting hundreds of millions of dollars, there's a good reason.
Yeah.
There's usually a reason, right? So that's what you're getting out of him in terms of what he's doing there. Get them all in there. Send this recording. It's going to be live on YouTube in 30 minutes, 20 minutes.
Oh,
okay?
great. Yeah, no. And okay, go ahead.
No, I was saying like send this recording to all those people that I just mentioned, including the developer, and say, here's what we need to talk about.
Right.
Okay. And then
they've done with the developer, but I think having legal and then property manager there as well would be accounting. Yes.
Like we like tax. Yeah. We like tax advantages if there's some there, but we also need to know. There you go. Right. I know a little bit about Costa Rica, not much, but I want to be educated as Jazz Tacker, and if I like it and I trust it, I might invest into it myself, which then opens up the doors to my clients because I won't send them something that I don't truly believe in. I only promote 6 to 8 things in a year. I've been doing that for a decade. So I get about 60 to 70 at my table. I promote about 6 to 8 of them because those are the ones I fall in love with.
Oh, nice. Well, you'll fall in love with this one.
All right. Well, if it's attached with a webinar, you got a much better chance for me to watch the webinar because I can listen to it in my car and get educated really quickly.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, Cynthia. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
Take care.
Take care. Bye. All right, guys, that was episode 252. Again, if you want to have a live coaching call with me directly on the Jazz Tacker podcast, go to ftguacademy.com/call. And if this episode was valuable to you, do me a favor, share it with a colleague. See you at episode 253.